look at the tail of the tape. Collins at one time fought around 270 pounds. He is down to, by his standards, a light 244, but a big reach advantage for Jennings in this fight.
Yeah, Jennings' reach advantage, 84, and he's only 6'2" compared to the 6'3" and the 74 and the 74-inch reach. It doesn't always translate more height advantage into a longer reach. So Jennings has the reach. More importantly, he's a more athletic guy tonight.
And we take a look at the rules. No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the ref can stop the fight. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. The fight is official after 4 rounds. Our ring announcer, as always, Joe Antonacci.
Boxing fans, here we go. NBC Sports Network's Fight Night, presented by GoDaddy.com. This next bout, brought to you by Main Events, Peltz Boxing and Ziggy Promotions, is 10 rounds of action for the USBA heavyweight title. Our judges, Lynn Carter, Kason Cheeks, and Ron McNair, and our referee, Lindsay Page. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He comes to us tonight all the way from Katy, Texas. He weighed in at 244 pounds. Green trunks, black trim, professional record 25 victories. Only 1 defeat, 18 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Steve Freight Train Collins. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, comes to us tonight from the fighting city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at 225 pounds. Red trunks, white trim, perfect professional record, 13 victories, no defeats. 6 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Bryant Bye-Bye Jennings. Our referee, Lindsay Page, has our fighters' final instructions.
All right, gentlemen, I already explained the rules to you, what I want from you. I want you to touch your glove, go back to your corner until I tell you to come out. All right.
And rounds, the USBA Heavyweight Championship.
Bryant Jennings had not been 10 rounds until earlier this year when he fought Maurice Barham on 1 week's notice, but he has been there and done that. Steve Collins has never been in a scheduled 10-round bout. It is underway, round 1, Collins in the green trunks. He has 11 first-round knockouts in his career, but only 1 in his last 14 fights. The competition's gotten tougher, reaching its peak tonight against Jennings.
It didn't seem to bother Jennings too much the first time he went 10 rounds. We'll see how Collins adapts tonight. I'm looking for something very early to happen in this fight. Collins, like I said, he hasn't been in the type of level of opposition like Jennings, and he might be surprised here in this first or second round. But it looks like Jennings has kind of come out, moving around a little bit, seeing what Collins has to offer, and he's going to go off of that and make the adjustments.
I imagine anytime you fight a man with a lot of knockouts, regardless of the opposition, you have to have some respect for that in the early going of a fight.
Absolutely, and that's why the jab in the heavyweight division is so important. That jab will allow you to get your timing, to set up your power punches, and to stay out of harm's way. We'll see if Bryant will start to use that instead of rushing in.
Nice uppercut by Bryant. Let's check in with Chris.
Guys, most fighters are workout mavens, but Bryant Jennings has developed a unique routine. Now, Jennings still works as a mechanic at the Federal Reserve Bank in Philadelphia, about 7.5 miles away from his home. Every day, Jennings will run to work, bike home, and then alternate the routine the next day. Like you said earlier, Kenny, not a lot of experience in boxing, but he says his skills are getting better every day, and that his conditioning, as usual, is going to be his biggest asset.
Thank you, Chris, and that certainly has been his conditioning in the 2 fights we have seen.
His conditioning's always been extraordinary. He's in fantastic shape for a heavyweight, but we saw earlier about 30 seconds ago, Collins actually placed a couple nice body shots in there and got the attention of Jennings a little bit.
Jennings trying to work the jab a little more. And Collins seems very poised. His first trip to the New York, New Jersey area, the biggest fight, biggest stage of his career. He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he does. He's doing great. He does seem poised. The problem is Jennings hasn't really opened up yet. He's just kind of seeing what he has. And I have a feeling here pretty short we're going to see Jennings open up. Then we'll see if Collins is still around.
Collins again. Taking a couple of those jabs that were just flicked out there by Jennings at the moment. He's still in that filling out process, it seems.
Sure is. And Jennings is in no rush. He's on the big scene now. He feels like he's got an entire 10 rounds like he told us in the fighter meeting yesterday. He's going to see what he does, and he's going to make adjustments off of that.
Final seconds of a get-acquainted first round between Jennings and Collins.
A perfect day. Is it the sun, the blue sky? Is it hope? Or the anticipation of pure joy? Winter's end, spring's gift, summer's friend, fall's glorious goodbye. It is always a perfect day for baseball.
I stepped on the machine, and it showed me the pressure points on my feet and exactly where I needed more support.
I had tired, achy feet until I got my number, my Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotics number.
Now I'm a believer.
You'll be able.
Round 2 scheduled for 10. USBA heavyweight title on the line. Bryant Jennings in the red, in the green, Steve Collins. And that opening round, BJ Flores, you give to?
I gave it to Bryant Jennings based on the fact that he landed a few more punches. He wasn't really as busy as we normally see him, Kenny, but he still did the more effective work between the two boxers.
Jennings 5 of 28 on his jabs, according to CompuBox, in that first round. And we overheard in his corner between rounds, put a little more snap on that jab.
Yeah, he was pushing it out there a little bit, but you know, once again, it's the first round, and some fighters take a little while to get warmed up. Jennings is more of a thoroughbred and not he's not trying to get out of the gates immediately. He, he's going to make adjustments, and I'm not worried about that. It's a long 10-round fight. He's got plenty of time. And Collins' corner actually gave him some good instruction too. He said, quit pushing the jab, snap it out there, and if he's going to have any success at all against Jennings, he has to start and end with that left jab.
Nice. That was a nice one. Maybe the best shot so far by Jennings.
He dug it in there. He didn't start with the jab. He's finding his range better. He's able now just to plant his feet and land those power punches a little more often, a little more effective.
Collins able to block those punches. He talked about the training in Houston. He lives now in Katy, Texas, subdivision of Houston. He's done about the work to lose about 30 pounds in recent fights, and so it's about 120 degrees in that gym, and he thinks that will help his endurance if this goes the distance.
That's a good point. A lot of guys, as they lower their weight, they find that they have more stamina in the ring. A, because they're not carrying around so much weight, and then B, just because they're more athletic at that weight. So Collins said that could be an advantage for him tonight. He wasn't quite sure, but so far he's doing all right.
Let it go. Let it go. Watch your shoulder. Watch your shoulder.
The punch that Jennings is looking to set up is that lead left hook. His corner told him to use the jab, but that's the second or third time in this round that he's opened up the lead hook. Collins has caught it, but he's finding his range with those power punches. Nice right hand and taking that hook to the body.
Jennings coming in with body shots mostly in this round. Calls out there with the jab. 20 seconds to go in round 2. And almost a grin there from Jennings. He's a little off balance himself as he realized trying to load up on that.
Yeah, he still looks a little uncomfortable. If he can use his left jab, he'll find that comfort level very fast.
Round 2 coming to a close.
Rosemary Parmesan bread with basil and sun.
As we start round 3, let's look back quickly at round 2 here, BJ.
Yeah, you see a left elbow of Collins get in there on Jennings, actually caused a little bit of swelling underneath the right eye, and they were applying the inswell in between rounds to get that swelling to go down.
Round 3 scheduled for 10. USBA heavyweight title on the line, the vacated title. In the red is Jennings, undefeated. In the green, Collins, who has only one loss in his career and is coming off a draw that stopped an impressive win streak of 18 in a row. And on your scorecard, you still have Jennings up.
I do. I gave him that last round, too. I feel like he landed the more effective punches. But, you know, once again, he's not blowing Steve Collins out of the water. He's letting this guy hang around. And I think the longer he lets him hang around, the more dangerous he becomes. Nice right hook by Jennings.
CompuBox stats, Collins landing only 15% of his punches in that second round. Jennings just 25% hitting on 13. So both guys below the heavyweight average right now. That's reflective of kind of the tepid pace of this fight at some times. Let's check in now with Chris.
Guys, comparable, consistent message from both the corners. Both trainers want their fighters to work the jab a little bit more. Now, Collins' trainer, Aaron Navarro, told Collins to step with your jab and start walking behind it. Navarro wants Collins to push to the inside, and when he gets there, drop his hips and dig to the body.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
Tied up briefly. Separated easily.
And what Chris said, that's the exact advice that Collins needs if he wants to have any chance in this fight. He cannot stand in the middle of the ring and chase Jennings down. He's not going to have success that way. He's got to get close. Nice body shot. He uses physical advantages.
Nice body shots there. About as active as Collins been, and we heard from his corner immediately. That's the way to work. And Jennings comes right back to the body.
He dug a nice right hook into the body there. And, you know, definitely got Collins' attention. But Collins knew this wasn't going to be an easy fight. If he's going to have success like this, he's got to get close to the nice right hand by Jennings.
Collins tries to come back, going to the body. Jennings with a nice jab. Best punches so far all night have been in this round from Jennings.
There you go.
And in this third round, finally, it looks like Jennings is starting to get loosened up a little bit. He's finally starting to feel a little more comfortable. He's getting his rhythm and his timing a lot better in this round.
All anyone had to do was watch his last fight, the Lakovic fight, to see how he got stronger actually as a fight winner.
Nice short right uppercut by Jennings. You see him go right in the middle. And it's just who beats who to the punch. When both guys are in the middle of the ring, like in the middle, head-to-head like that, who's going to land the uppercut first? Jennings won that battle.
Jennings, his best round. And he acknowledges his own punch as he was able to land that. Bryant Jennings beginning to warm up here in round 3 of this USBA title fight. It isn't uncommon for a baseball player to hit a home run and admire his homer.
Yeah,
Jennings was admiring his shot.
Yeah, he actually took a good right hand there, and I think he was kind of letting Collins know that, hey, I'm awake now, and you might have awoken the beast.
And you see they worked in between rounds again on his eye. He took an inadvertent elbow back in round 2. As we start round 4, it is scheduled for 10, USBA Heavyweight Championship. Jennings in the red, Collins in the green. How did you score that last round, BJ?
I gave it to Jennings 10-9 again. He's landing the heavier shots. But Collins is sneaking some nice ones in there. Good body shots by Jennings.
CompuBox by far the best round so far for Jennings. Landed 24-pound punches, connecting on 47% of those.
And I think what I'm seeing here in round number 4 and in round number 3 is Jennings is starting to loosen up a little bit. He's starting to feel more comfortable inside and, you know, landing the harder punches. With that being said, Collins is doing some very nice work also. Surprising me, to be honest with you.
Collins has never made it to 10 rounds. First scheduled 10-rounder in his career. And this for Collins is his 28th now career fight, so he's been around. Let's check in the Jennings corner with Chris.
Guys, simple message from Fred Jenkins in Jennings' corner. Work more. Jenkins wants Jennings sticking to that jab out more. He wants him to keep digging to the body. He does not think his work rate is high enough.
Thanks, Chris. What about Collins right now? He did land some good punches in that last round, just more of those by Jennings.
Yeah, he did. He's doing some good work with the body, following his corner's instructions. He's just not athletic enough to stand outside with Jennings at this range. He's got to get in close right there and land short cupping punches. It's his only chance.
Jennings with that 10-inch reach advantage. Are you seeing that play out more with these jabs?
Yeah, I'm seeing that play out a little bit, but it's not so much Jennings' reach, so much that he just gets into position with his feet to land the punches. The reach definitely helps, but he just has that tremendous range, and he knows where he can land and where he's effective.
Referee Lindsey Page separates him back out into the middle of the ring here in the 4th round.
Let him go, let him go.
Missing, had some intention there with that overhand.
And the fight ended nice.
was stunned a little bit on that one. And Lindsey Page, the referee, will go over to check on it.
They're ruling a knockdown because the ropes held him up, and officially should be ruled a
He's
knockdown.
getting the 8 count right now. Standing 8 count for Collins.
We'll look to see if Jennings can finish the show here. He's an up-and-coming heavyweight prospect, and America loves knockouts.
And Collins is trying to hang on. Looks like he's going to make it through this 4th round. Jennings is getting to unload. Best round for Brian Jennings. He continues to get stronger. Round 5 is scheduled for 10. USBA heavyweight title on the line. Brian Jennings in the red, Collins in the green.
Let him go, Collins.
That's the score of that round, DJ.
It's a 10-8 round because of the knockdown that the referee ruled, and he dominated the round and hurt Collins. But this is the thing, now that he's got his guy hurt, we've seen the power. His job is to go out there and close the show, not rush it, but create a little bit of urgency to get this guy out of here and show America how talented he really is.
And again, a nice hook by Brian Jennings. He's gotten stronger as this fight has gone on and gotten very much into his comfort zone. Let's check in with Chris.
Guys, Aaron Navarro in Collins' corner said he wants Collins to play it safe for a while in this round. He says you're in great shape, you're a fighter, dig deep, and you'll survive this.
All right, thanks, Chris. Collins has only gone past the 5th round 4 times in his career, 4 times in 27 previous fights.
Something very important in this fight, too, Kenny, that's starting to happen is Jennings is now walking Collins down. The first 3 rounds, it was the opposite. I think that's a tribute to Jennings' conditioning and also Collins being hurt by that Jennings right uppercut in the last round. One thing Collins needs to do if he wants to play it safe, that doesn't mean completely stop punching. Use his jab, move his head, clear the cobwebs, come back again in the next round. Nice overhand right by Jennings.
And you could see the confidence with Jennings in the way he's executing his punches out here right now, moving all over.
Yeah, he's very comfortable. He's got a guy in front of him that's just kind of standing there, and Jennings is getting a bit of target practice. Collins isn't giving him a lot back now, and Jennings sees a lot of openings. Nice combination by Collins, but that defense of Jennings is very effective, and he's able to effectively block all those punches.
Nice little sneak of a jab in there by Jennings during all that, and a good body shot again by Jennings. Collins coming back.
And now Jennings has exactly told us what he did in the ring corner, where he told me, hey, I like to feel a guy's power. I like to see if I can take the punches, and then I adapt my game plan accordingly. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. He felt it, and now he's consistently walking his man down and having a lot of success.
Watch your punches, Joey. Watch your punches.
In this pugilistic waltz, it is definitely Brian Jennings leading the way all over the ring. He's around Collins all the time, and then once again gets that jab in there. This has been another strong round for Jennings.
He's done some real good work this round, Kenny, and he's breaking his man down round by round. I don't think this fight's going to go much past the 7th or 8th round, if it makes it that far.
Stop at the bell, Joey. Stop at the bell.
Good round again for Brian Jennings.
I've run countless.
Let's look back at round 5.
Keep it clean, Joey.
Yeah, he missed a right hand. He stuck his chin out. He's just letting Collins know, hey, listen, you're in a fight, and this isn't going to go the same way your other 25 wins went. He's trying to get in his head a little bit.
We go to round 6 now of the USBA Heavyweight Championship. The vacated title on the line. Brian Jennings in the red, Steve Collins in the green. It's been Jennings so far, and he scored the last round.
I scored it for Jennings again, continuing more of the same, landing the harder punches, being the more effective puncher, and really leading the win generalship. So basically, this comes down to the clean punches that Brian Jennings is landing. Very high percentage. You got to give him those rounds.
Jennings clearly in control, according to BJ. Probably the refs, probably the judges too. It's been a very strong showing all night long. Collins perhaps a surprise, though, in the fact that he's hung around and took some decent shots in this fight.
He has taken some decent shots. I know what they're going to urge the corner of Jennings is to get this guy out of here. He's standing right in front of him now. Brian Jennings is too good to let Stephen Collins hang around deeper into this fight. if he's trying to make the statement that he told us yesterday he wanted to make.
And Jennings in that last round, looking at the CompuBox numbers, he had his high for the fight, 33 of 73 power punches landed, hitting right at a 45% clip. So Jennings in this fight doing what he has done in the two previous fights we've seen here on NBC Sports Network. He's gotten stronger from 4, 5, 6, and on.
And he's just one of those guys. He's a real pro. He believes in his conditioning. He believes in his stamina. And he's got a 10-round fight, Kenny, so there's no real rush to put himself in harm's way early in the fight. But now that he's got his man measured, you see him landing those big power punches. Nice right uppercut again by Jennings. And he was smart. He's doing a veteran thing. This is a guy with less than 20 amateur fights and only 14 pro fights. And he's fighting a very smart, efficient fight tonight.
Brian Jennings only been a pro for 2 years and 4 months. A 27-year-old out of Philadelphia trying to go to 14-0 and win the belt. And as you talked about earlier, BJ, some purists may look and try to gauge what belt is more important, but early in a career, winning a belt of note like a USBA title means something.
Yeah, it does absolutely, because it puts a nice left hook and nice right hand by Brian Jennings. Collins is hurt again.
Jennings flying in to deliver those punches.
See if Jennings looks to capitalize here. He's getting a little loopy with those hooks. I'd like to see him come up the middle with the uppercut a little more. And Collins is fighting back and letting him know he's in a fight.
Collins let him know he was not hurt by that.
He did. And I like that.
Collins with a standing 8 count. He got knocked back against the ropes 2 rounds ago. But Collins continues to hang tough. As we get ready to move on to round 7 of this title fight. Back to the Prudential Center, among the stars in the audience tonight. Academy Award winner Susan Sarandon here watching the action. 2 heavyweight belts on the line. Right now we go into round 7, the USBA heavyweight title up for grabs, the vacated title. In the red is Brian Jennings trying to go to 14-0. In the green, Steve Collins. BJ, how about the last round?
I gave it 10-9 and give to Jennings based on clean, effective punching. He's dominating the action. Coming really quickly back to why this USBA belt is important, because it will put him in a nice good body shots by Jennings right there. It'll give him a top 15 world rating, Kenny, by the IBF, which is the North American organization of the USBA. And a lot of people don't understand how those belts work, but a top 15 world rating puts him on the radar of some of those world champions and makes him relevant in the heavyweight division.
Nice.
His left jab, sorry. There's so many moments to talk about.
That's nice. And he follows up with the right, and that shows the strength of Brian Jennings. Let's check in with Chris.
All right, here with Aaron. Aaron, what did you have to do to get back into this fight?
Well, I'd like to see him walking behind the jab. I think earlier he was following him a little bit too much. I want to see him working behind the jab on the front, getting a little bit lower on the inside and working the body more, and then get back up to the head.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right, thanks, Chris. To Collins' credit, seeing Liz Sarandon here in the audience tonight, we won an Oscar for Dead Men Walking. Most people did not think that Steve Collins would still be in this fight at this level in the 7th round. He's never gone 10 rounds in his career.
Yeah, most people did, and I think that's 2 things. That's Collins working extremely hard, but that's also Jennings, you know, slightly not stepping it up and stepping on the gas as much as he needs to after he had his man hurt in the 5th round. So, you know, he's a young fighter, he's still an experienced fighter, he's still got things to learn, but he's got a lot of tools in the tool bag.
Trying to double up and work the body there is Steve Collins.
Collins has got the right idea. Aaron Navarro told him to lower those hips down. The reason he said that is because that's how he can turn and get leverage on those body shots whenever he is trying to dig Jennings' body. You lower the hips, you lower the butt, then you can really make those punches count when you're trying to dig him into the body.
Jennings staking the jab a couple of times.
And these are the areas of the fight, these little gaps in the fight where Jennings has to be more aggressive and step on the gas and show Collins that he isn't in the league of Jennings.
Collins making nice use of the jab in this round. Round 7, Brian Jennings continuing to be in control of this title fight.
Stop at the bell, gentlemen. Stop at the bell.
Ford employee pricing is back.
On Doel. Kind of Castillo, who has 14 knockouts in 16 victories. That's up next as we move into round 8. Scheduled for 10, USBA Heavyweight Championship. The title vacated. Bryant Jennings in the red, in the lead in this fight, it would appear. Taking on Steve Collins in the green. BJ Flores, how'd you score the last round?
10-9 again. I got it a shutout so far. I think the only surprise, nice, good body shot by Jennings there. He shot at 1-2 up top, got the hands of Collins up, and delivered a nice left hook to the body that really got the attention of Collins right there. Nice right uppercut.
Good uppercut. Nice check in with Chris Mannix.
Guys, the crowd is looking for a knockout, and so within Jennings' corner. Fred Jenkins is telling Jennings to be aggressive, throw that uppercut, and put this guy down.
Jennings in his 13 wins, 6 of those way of knockout. He has won 7 by decision.
He has, and that's something that might be a detriment to him down the line as he continues to increase his level of opposition. People and networks nowadays are looking for knockouts in the heavyweight division. And like I said, a guy like Stephen Collins, he's got to put his punches together and get a guy like this out of here.
Collins came back with respectable body shots after taking 2 punches from Jennings.
Collins is still trying to fight.
Let him go.
He's just outgunned tonight, Kenny. He is trying to fight. He doesn't have the athleticism. He doesn't have the same weapons that Jennings has. But he is making a game account for himself.
Jennings, 2 good hard hits.
And once again, there's that lead left hook. It's not having the same effect because he's not setting it up with a straight punch first. He's just shooting the lead left hook, and Collins is able to block it pretty successfully with his right arm.
When Jennings starts that way, do you get the feeling that at any moment he could break through here and land the punches that almost got him? He got a knock down, a standing 8 count a few rounds ago, but you get the feeling that maybe he's ready to unload, BJ?
I think he's trying. I just think maybe he hasn't quite got his rhythm tonight, like maybe he has another fight. Good body shot by Jennings, very nice. Once again with that lead left hook. Now, if he's going to lead with the left hook, I prefer him dig for the body because he will have more success with that.
Jennings continues to be the aggressor in this fight, but Collins, maybe to the surprise of some, his biggest fight, he's admitted that. He comes in here with nothing to lose, he said. Everything to gain. He certainly gained a lot of respect tonight for being able to hang in there with Jennings.
He has. And Jennings is looping the punch a little too much. If he can shorten those up, we might be able to see evidence of a knockout in the next couple of rounds.
Round 8 coming to an end. As we go now to round 9, scheduled 10 rounds. USBA Heavyweight Championship, vacated belt. In the red, Bryant Jennings trying to stay undefeated. 13-0 coming in. In the green, Steve Collins. 25-1-1 coming into this fight. Had not taken on the caliber of a Jennings. And you look at the numbers of Jennings, our CompuBox numbers, all leaning toward Bryant Jennings. He has dominated this fight, but has not put away Steve Collins.
Yeah, he's landed at almost a 40% connection rate.
Let him go. Let him go.
Very successful. Landed a lot of power punches, but then again, I attribute that to Collins standing right in front of him. He's got a guy in front of him tonight to be able to be in range to land that high amount of punches. So everybody's looking for the knockout now, and this is a step in his natural progression, moving up the ratings. Learning how to get a tough, durable guy with a little bit of power out of there in the later rounds of the fight.
Those jabs been working on Collins, a little swelling on that left eye. Jennings, meanwhile, 56 punches per round. That's about 10 above the average of a usual heavyweight fight. And he certainly has increased his productivity since the early stages of this fight.
He's definitely in great shape. Now, we see sometimes when Jennings comes in with that wide left hook to the body, what I would like to see him do, we'll see evidence of it here in a second. He comes in with that wide left hook. If he would shoot that, drop the elbows of Collins a little bit, and then come right back up the middle with an uppercut and a follow-up punch, he would have more success. He's just continuing to shoot that one punch to the body, and he's not really making Collins pay after that first initial shot. They're kind of just using a pushing jab, a pushing right hand. If he would put something after that, he can really see more evidence of how hurt Collins really was.
Trying to double up on the right with Collins.
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
To me, Kenny, from a fighter's perspective right now, it looks like Collins is just waiting for Jennings to step on the gas for him to go out of here. He knows he's meeting at this point. He knows he's not in the fight, and he's just waiting to see if Jennings is actually going to force him out of the fight or not.
Let him go. Let him go. Stop. Stop. When I say let him go, let him go. Box.
Lindsey Page separates him. 33 seconds to go here in the 9th round.
Let him go. Let him go.
Steve Collins in unfamiliar territory. He's never been in a 10-round fight before. He's 24 seconds away from making it that far.
Another good body shot right there by Jennings. And once again, he didn't follow it up. Shoot 2 hooks, shoot the right hand after the hook, shoot the uppercut. Once again, we see it right there. There's the hook.
That's a good hook by Jennings. And now Jennings trying to unload here. Final seconds of round 9. Trying to get that uppercut in there. And there's one.
The game is on the line.
And they touch gloves to start the 10th and final round. USBA Heavyweight Championship up for grabs. Vacated title. Bryant Jennings in the red, trying to go to 14-0 and win his first belt of significance. Steve Collins in the green. The young fighter from Garrett, Indiana, makes his home in Katy, Texas now, works out in Houston, and said this is the biggest fight of his career, even though he has twice the experience of a Bryant Jennings coming into this fight.
Let him go, let him go.
That was a beautiful hook right hand that Jennings just shot. He shot the hook to get Collins to reach with his right hand. He reached, and then he immediately landed the right hand after it caught him right on the point of the chin. Nice combination by Jennings.
Later, Adonic.
Let him go, let him go.
And Chambers for the IBF North American Heavyweight title. 2 veterans. 2 minutes to go in this fight. Let's check in with Chris.
Obvious sense of urgency in Steve Collins' corner after that last round. They know he is behind. Aaron Navarro said, walk this guy down, let your hands go. This is your opportunity. Make the most of it.
And Collins early on started as a house of fire. 11 first-round knockouts very early in his career. Only 1 in the last 14 fights. Obviously, the competition's gotten tougher for him. He's a lighter fighter now, about 20 pounds, 30 pounds less than he normally fights at, around 265, 270 range. What have you seen in Collins' game tonight, BJ?
I've seen a tough guy, durable guy. He's outclassed. Nice left hook by Bryant Jennings. I've just seen a guy, he came to fight today, but he's not as skilled as Jennings, and he's really being dominated tonight.
Jennings doubling up on the body there with the right. You see again another crisp jab thrown by Bryant Jennings.
And like I said, I feel like Collins has been looking for a place to go the last couple rounds, and Jennings just hasn't quite convinced him to go there. Nice left body shot. Nice body shot. That might be a shot right there.
Wasn't another shot. Collins is giving that indication.
Until we see the replay, I won't know, but a lot of times fighters have given indication that it's been low when it hasn't necessarily been low, so I'd like to see the replay.
Lindsey Page has asked for a timeout to check out Collins.
All right. Time in. Box.
Collins is okay. Time resumes. He had to remind them. And Bryant Jennings now goes back to work on the body.
And if it really was a low blow, that wasn't the right call there by the referee. The referee is supposed to give him up to 5 minutes if that really was a low blow. And he definitely didn't give that to him, so not the right call there. Here Collins is still born ahead, still trying to make it. Jennings is not talking him out of staying into this, making this final 20 seconds.
Stop.
With all that being said, a very impressive performance by Jennings, and we continue to see the growth and the weapons that he's got in his toolbox. Very impressive.
And Bryant Jennings, quietly confident coming in to this fight.
Let him go.
He's had his 2 biggest wins coming into the night. And now it goes the distance. Bryant Jennings trying to win the USBA heavyweight title against a very game Steve Collins, who was simply outmatched and outboxed tonight by Bryant Jennings. At least that's what you would agree with.
Absolutely, but it's got to be some type of moral victory for Stephen Collins, because people didn't expect him to be able to compete on a level like this. And even though he was shut out every single round and dominated, he made it till the 10th round, Kenny. So it is somewhat of a moral victory for him, and he's got something to hang his hat on.
Collins, his wife Leanne, they have their 2 children back home in Katy, Texas now, and Bryant Jennings, his son Mason, is 3. Calls himself Bye-Bye Mason, just like his dad, Bye-Bye Jennings. Happy Father's Day to those two guys and all the dads out there watching on this Father's Day weekend here. Fight night from the Prudential Center in downtown Newark. Championship fight already over. Jennings and Collins. We await the verdict of the judges, and then later on, Adonic and Chambers will meet for the IBF North American heavyweight title.
Speaking of Happy Father's Day, Frank Flores. My father, I love you. Thank you so much for all the help you've given me in my career. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Reginald Rice, watching as well. Pass along to all the dads out there. A lot of dads, a lot of fathers, sons here we've noticed in the crowd tonight as well.
Yeah, and I like to see that. You know, boxing is one of those sports where the father so many times, or the uncle or somebody like that gets the son involved, and you know, there's always a special bond when that occurs.
I'd say that 3-year-old Mason's watching to see if Dad Bryant's arm will be raised. Joe Antonacci has the judge's decision.
Boxing fans, after 10 rounds of action for the USBA heavyweight title, we go to the judges' scorecards, and all three of our judges, Lynn Carter, Ron McNair, and Kason Cheek, scored the bout 100 to 89, all in favor of your winner and the new USBA heavyweight champion, Brian Bye-Bye Jennings.
Bye-Bye Jennings just saying hello to his first major title, the USBA Heavyweight Championship. Unanimous decision, strong unanimous decision. We take a look at our GoDaddy.com judges scorecard. Round by round of that fight, you see the total, BJ, no surprise to you, I assume?
Yeah, that's how I had it scored as well. 10-9 every single round, except for the round with a clean knockdown. 10-8 in round 5, 100 to 89. Makes perfect sense. Great math by the judges tonight.
Bryant Jennings now going to 14-0, 3-0 here on NBC Sports Network Fight Night. We have seen a rising star, really coming out no